Well, unlike the previous few years, adequate rainfall throughout the winter and early spring has provided many Georgia cotton growers with optimal conditions to plant their crop. Now, that's good news for producers as acres are likely to be on the rise. Damon Jones explains.
This will be a familiar sight in the coming weeks as cotton producers around the state are gearing up for planting season. And 2013 is shaping up to be a big year for Georgia's #1 row crop as acres are likely to be on the rise.
We on the cotton team do believe we will increase acres compared to 2012. Again, the peanut issue was one. Number two, we were expecting corn acres to increase maybe more than what went in.
And so far, Mother Nature has cooperated for the most part as ample rainfall has provided more than enough water for the soil. It's a welcome sight after years of dry conditions.
It's been a change. The last 4 or 5 years, we've been real dry at planting time. So we've had a good bit of moisture, and it's good to have moisture to plant with. Cotton is a very shallow planted seed. You plant it about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and the moisture can get away from you real quick at that shallow of depth.
However, it hasn't been all good news on the weather front as an unusually cool spring has pushed back the planting season a bit as the soil has yet to reach the optimal 65 degrees. But with temperatures quickly on the rise, there's really no reason for concern.
I would say we're below or behind our 5-year average in terms of planting cotton, but we still have plenty of time. You know, the entire month of May is great in terms of planting cotton, but many of our growers have a lot of acres to cover, and they're really anxious to get started. But it's just been so cool. What cotton has been planted has come up to good stands. It's just not growing as rapidly as we would expect in a normal year.
As usual, there are a number of things farmers need to look out for this planting season in order to maximize yields. One issue that's cropped up this year is invasive plants.
The biggest one we have is called pigweed, and we're doing everything we can to stop, pigweed from emerging. That's the key, not let them emerge. Yeah, we're using some new chemicals that we haven't in the past, and trying to do everything we can to keep them, from emerging.
Now, there are also a number of pests farmers have to deal with, specifically thrips, which must be managed throughout the entire process. As for advice on how to control the problem, a little bit of prevention goes a long way.
A couple things that farmers need to remember is, number one, we need to put out an insecticide at planting. Most of the insecticides we use will be a commercial seed treatment, one of our neonicotinoid insecticides for thrips control, but that's a must.
Another must is to come up with a proper planting strategy, and sometimes the best method is to just keep it simple.
You know, we all want to be innovators, and but sometimes we do need to remember just the basics. Planting in good conditions, making sure your seeding rate, your depth, and all is correct, irrigating in a timely basis to activate your herbicides, to assure good emergence. But just some of the basic principles, the tried and true, so to speak.
Reporting from Bleckley County, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.